So the year was 2024, and I was spending the whole year on drugs. So I was going through my renaissance of spiritual awakening. That was my hardest, year of all. That's when I discovered comedy. But at the same time, on the beginning of the year, I didn't know even who I was. I already have published my book, but I didn't know, what's the next step because the book was not selling yet. And I needed like an outlet to pursue artistically. And that came only when I went to this whole journey that I'm gonna tell you about right now, and involves every man's dream, which is getting to a pool. And I'm gonna tell you, man, involved two girls and we nailed it. So one thing about me, I respond very well to psychedelics, and one of my main passions at the time was to work out on acid. No, it might sound crazy, but it was very beneficial for me. And I would microdose, I would take like 1/3 of a dab and go to the gym and listening to beautiful music and try PRs, bro. Also, another thing was I was very healthy at the time and I was doing steroids. I was in shape, I was looking good, I was bartending in the nightclub, making decent money, living in a good place in Orlando. And I was very in a position where I could like just do these things. I have a set schedule and I know everything that was gonna happen in my week. I was lead bartender and everything was fun. So it's a very easy spot to be. So every morning I would wake up very early, like 6:30, which is very unusual for a bartender, but I did not drink. One thing about me, if you invite me to go drink, I'm not gonna go because I don't drink, I only do drugs. That's what I used to say to people when they invite me to go out, because bartending, bro, they're gonna be like, yo, you wanna go out for a drink? I already went through alcoholic period, which is 2017, 2018, and that's in my book, Who Would Have Thought, a Survey with PTSD story. But back to the 2024 story. So I think this is around May, I'm having a set ritual to start my day, which is I would wake up, take 1/3 of a dab of acid, go to the gym, and then lift my mind out listening to just theories about spiritual awakening, the whole gist, and about a lot of esoteric wisdom as well. So that's why I consider my magnum opus. Because here's the thing, like every next step I was taking in my journey, I would be confirmed by a next level door opening, let's say. So I always dream of, and this is every man's dream, I guess, to just be, totally satiated by women. So I was going to the gym, I was looking good, I was bartending, getting phone numbers, that was all happening. But the day came when I went to the gym, get back to my house, ate something, and then I went to the pool to take some sunbathing. Also, very important to remember, this was the day of the eclipse. This was 2024, so I think the eclipse happened someday. I'm gonna look and put it here, but I don't remember exactly. So there's like two girls at the pool when I get there, and they're very pretty. So I'm walking in, I'm shirtless, and I made my way, I jump in the pool, I don't even talk to them. Also, one thing about acid is like very entertaining to be like seducing people kind of, because you just have a positive vibe, you don't care, man. You have everything you need inside yourself when you are on psychedelics. You realize like neediness actually is not a good thing. So when you're gonna go hit on a girl, you are like, oh, what's up and shit like that. So it makes you look needy, which girls don't appreciate it. When I was on acid, I was completely like, yeah, I'm here, but, whatever. That was kind of the stance. And I remember that I jumped in the pool, and then one of the girls immediately were like, oh, isn't that cold, the water? How's the water? I was like, actually, it's pretty nice, it feels good. So we went to talk for a little bit about some bullshit and about the eclipse. So you guys here for the eclipse and shit? She was like, yeah. I was like, listen, can I join you guys? And then I just pulled my chair to their side, and then we stayed, the three of us, hanging out in the pool, There's nobody else, so it's kind of perfect, a set to what was to come. So we start talking, and the girls are drinking, And this is like an hour into, our conversation, and I'm talking about bartending and nightclubs, and they're talking about, everything between. And then a vibe start coming, from the girls. And obviously the sun was out. They have like sun protectors, they spray, and they're like, yo, can you help? It's like, oh, of course I can help. So one thing that happened was we talking, and I don't know exactly how, but the flirting started. Like one of the girls were like, you have a girlfriend, and like, why you want to know, So I put myself in a position where I was like, I think the highest stake, like, oh, this guy is high value, as they say, because they start really coming off as like, yo, can you do something with us, right? And we were in the pool, and I remember we were very close, and I was like, listen, if everything you're saying is true, let's just go inside the bathroom and make something happen. And the girl, I don't know how, bro, but the girl was just like, okay. And I was like, you want to go to the masculine or the feminine? I was like, listen, let's go to the feminine, right? And I was just playing, but then she got up and walked into the bathroom. I'm like, holy shit, let's go. And then I walk into the bathroom, and we made it happen, So one thing that is crazy, man, is like, we had sex in the bathroom. Me and this girl that I just totally met, and we live in the same condo, And we hit it off. There was a nice vibe, right? And we walk out of the bathroom. Now, the girl that was in there, she said something that I'll never forget. Like, this you guys just did got me feeling some type of way, And I was just like, you know what? Listen, man, you can have the same. It's no issue, If you want to go, just go into the bathroom. I'll follow you right there. And I don't know why or how, bro, but the girl, she just got up and went to the bathroom. So I went and followed her, and it happened again. And it was just a beautiful vibe. This was like, by the way, a brunette girl and a blonde girl. They're all good looking, And I think like this is just God when you open the door of the next level to give you like a pussy DoorDash. Here you go, son. You work hard for this, Because I was going through a lot of motions, man. I was doing a lot of spiritual, shadow work, as they say, have like individualization, as Carl Jung put it. And I think once you put the intention out there, it really comes your way, because that was something that I was always asking. Because I didn't go out, The only like dates or pussy that I would get was like from the bar, because those bartending girls would come in and be like, oh, here's my phone number, you know what I mean? Like, oh, let's meet up. So because I would not go out, because I work in restaurants, I don't like to go to a restaurant, I'm off. That's a huge issue. I don't like to be in the environment of it, like, oh, this guy, he's stressed. I can read the server, I can read the managers, I can read everybody. It doesn't do good to my mind to be like, oh, this guy's stressed. I can read it, like, oh. So I did not go out. So every girl that I would get was just like coming straight to my house at the time, or, at the gym, we meet and we hang out at the gym. Or talking about drugs, the girl smoked weed, or she did acid and shit like that. And then we would like gather, and then we start about talking like esoteric wisdom, But that was my magnum opus that day. I remember, because it was the eclipse. How the hell can we be here on a situation where the eclipse is happening and I'm getting the best day of my life, I work out, and then the blonde girl, she left to her house after a while, and just me and the brunette stay. And then she went to my house with me, and we stayed the whole day together, So basically that was the best day, one of the best days of my life per se, because it was so outstanding and everything that happened that I would never forget, 2024, the day of the eclipse. Just remember, man, you put out the intention and it comes your way. When you light, when you light, it feels like you're in the right place at the right time, and the universe rewards you. Anyway, that's the story for today. We're going to keep those coming. Anyway, subscribe to the channel. Take a look at my book, Who Would Have Thought, a Server with PTSD Story, on Amazon. And that was it for today. See you next time.